Well, hello, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am super excited for this broadcast. I have a colleague and a sister friend out of the DC area, and she and I met some years ago. She will tell you the exact because she's a numbers woman, so I'm sure she has the numbers down pat. But she and I belong to another organization, and now we are having the opportunity to work together on the Claiming Your Why and Soul Purpose Summit. I am Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson, your sister on the journey. I am a why and soul purpose coach and consultant, and I pride myself in guiding people towards their true calling and purpose. And you're probably asking, well, why would you do that? Because too many people are walking this planet and they want to be counterfeit and copycats. And this is why I set out on a task to make sure I am guiding them to honor their calling and purpose. So, without any further ado, let me introduce you to one of my speakers. She is the first in these live broadcasts, and as the week progresses up to September 10th and 11th, you will be meeting other speakers. So, her name is Pamela Sams, and her topic will be take control of your finances. And that is certainly going to change your life. Welcome, Sister Pam. Welcome.
Yeah, so thank you for having me, Dr. Daphne, Coach Daphne, Daphne Dynamic, right?
Yes, yes. How long ago you and I met? I know we met down in New York at that conference.
Yes, we did. It was over 10 years ago, believe it or not.
Are, are you serious?
Yes, 2010. And so we
Oh
met
my
there.
Lord. Oh my heavens. Oh my heavens. I had no idea it
Yep.
was so long. Hello,
Mhm.
hello, Miss Ramona. Welcome, welcome. Please share the live so we can get some folks in here. But before we delve into the conversation, Pam, please go ahead and tell the people about you and how long you have been on this journey because I know you're not a newbie.
Exactly. As you were saying before, Pamela Sams, I am a financial advisor. My firm is Jackson Sams Wealth Strategy. It is located in the Washington, D.C. area, Herndon, Virginia, to be exact. And I've been practicing for the last 19 years, really focused on financial wellness for women. My tagline is really helping women secure their financial future so they can sleep well at night. So
Woo!
my logo is a swan, which is actually an acronym and a metaphor. So the acronym is sleep well at night, as I mentioned before. But the metaphor is really taking people's what I call women's financial ugly duckling situations and then really
Mm-hmm.
transforming them into beautiful financial swans. So that's what I hope to do in September through
Yes.
the Claim Your Why and Soul Purpose Conference, Summit in Atlanta. Is really
Yes.
to pour into the attendees there. Is all about getting control of your finances, and then really, once you do that, you're able to change your life.
And also virtually too, because the people who will be attending virtually will be able to take advantage of the wealth of knowledge.
Mhm.
And I like where your focus is. And you are so right that many women, we look at our financial situation as ugly duckling.
Mhm.
And we think that there's no way to turn that around because there are many prominent male role models in the financial industry, but it's very rarely we get in touch or know of a woman whose focus is on that. And for that, I want to honor you for taking the stand and for believing in us.
Mhm.
Because, especially the younger women, we need to let them know yes, it is all right if you have a spouse, Like you have a healthy relationship. You just celebrate, I forgot how many years. I saw
32
you
years.
family.
Exactly.
And but it is still okay to have our own independence so we can get together like the pieces of a puzzle. You
Hmm.
don't have to sit around and totally dependent on your spouse or significant other. What led you, Pam,
Hmm.
to selecting women?
Yes. Well, actually, my story starts in 2001 when I got started in this business, really out of helping my mom after my dad had passed away. Um, she became a widow after 50 years of marriage with my father, and really coming from a generation where women did not take care of the household finances. She was at a loss once my father had passed away. She knew the basics. I mean, most women, know the ins and outs of what's going on in the day to day. I remember them sitting at the kitchen table, writing the bills out together, where she would tell my dad on what need to be paid that month, and he would write out the checks. But after that, it was like, okay, what do I have financially? How am I going to be able to survive on my own now that my dad was no longer there? So really, just trying to figure all of that out. I had just completed a financial management MBA program. It took a
Mhm.
sabbatical for a while because I did have two kids back to back in graduate school, believe it or not, and really just figuring out what my next best step was with my financial degree. And
Mhm.
then I guess divine providence put us together where I was able to really help my mom figure out what my dad had left, how she was going to survive on her own as a widow, and then really move her forward financially from that. And I figured there were other women in my mother's situation that may
Mhm.
not have had, the resources. I come
Guidance.
from a family of 8 of us. I'm number 7 of 8.
Wow.
But having the support system, there may have been some women that may not have had a family that will be able to really take care of them to figure out what their finances were. So I figure other women were in that situation. So I hung out my shingle in 2002 on the mission to really focus on helping women secure their financial future so they can be able to sleep well at night. Because a
Nice.
lot of the times is that if we have money issues, we're not getting proper rest, and we're
No.
so worried, and we have such financial anxiety around
Mhm.
money.
Mhm.
But really having a trusted advisor there to do the hand holding to take you through the process, that's what women need.
Exactly. And to break it down in easy steps where we can follow, because many of us, we are not into the figures and the numbers.
Hmm.
And the minute we hear number or checkbook, we get into panic mode. So
Yes.
have somebody who is willing to guide us and lead us. It's an amazing thing. And
Hmm.
I am always telling people to get ready to withdraw from their universal bank account, because little did you know, when your mom gave birth to number 7, that part of what was in your universal bank account is what you're doing now. You were
Exactly.
born for that, to guide her to her promised land after her honey went home.
Yes.
And that's why we have to listen to our authentic place. We have to pay attention to our intuitiveness and our gut feeling. Because
Hmm.
I tell people, Pam, it's not rocket science what we are born for. The problem comes around when we are disobedient to the inclinations that we are getting, and our main focus is set on somebody else's endeavor. So we lose the mark on ours.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just really tapping into, like you said, what your divine purpose is and what you were
yes.
to do. And we go wayward so many times on really fighting what our purpose is, and then
Mhm,
till God puts it in your path, and then that's
mhm,
the direction you must follow. And so
mhm.
that was kind of, I didn't think of it that way until you put it there. It's like, number 7, and then I was there to be able to guide her there.
Yeah,
And that was my life's purpose, is really to help other women
exactly.
do that.
And 7 is the number of completion.
That's correct.
And
Yep.
see, you were there to complete her knowledge around the finances.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it gives me the chills just to repeat and talk about it, because although we have known each other for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know your story.
Yes.
And what an amazing story. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of women out there who can relate to that. Because in my work, you know how many women, I mean affluent women, Pam,
Mm-hmm.
whose spouses left this earth and they don't know how to write a check
Mm-hmm.
because their entire marriage, they did not write a check. They don't know anything about that. And this is why I tell women, you need to put your nose in there and learn, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't want the surprise.
That's correct. That's correct. Because, statistically, at some point, you may be on your own financially,
Exactly.
either through divorce or being a widowed. A lot of my clients are single by choice, divorced
Mhm,
and widowed.
mhm,
And then really just trying to figure out this whole financial game on their own,
mhm.
and not knowing where to start. I just took on a client earlier today, and that was her thing was that she has so much financial anxiety around money that she really just did not know where to start, and then you get
Mhm,
financially stuck, and then you get in a rut and you don't know
mhm.
where to turn, and you don't know who to turn to. So really just going there and saying, hey, I'm here to do the hand holding, because a lot of people just don't do the hand holding. They just tell
No,
you kind of what to
exactly.
do. But really,
Exactly.
taking you from, hey, let's get through some of this baggage that you have
The
financially.
preliminaries, peeling
Exactly.
the onion back,
Yes,
peeling the
exactly.
onion back,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we want. Because women are nurturers, and whatever we are doing, we need somebody who's going to nurture us.
Correct.
That's
That's
the
it.
bottom line. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter how many plaques on their wall and how many letters are behind their names. If there is no sensitivity, we don't want any part of that.
Exactly. That's true. Because you can go to any financial institution, but it's all about relationships, and that's where I always
Relationship.
start with my conversations is around relationships. That
Mhm.
I'm going to be here for you for the long term.
Long
But I
haul.
don't know if you did. I did share with you, or share with also the listeners, is that my background comes from financial advice, but also I've married the two and put neuroscience with it. So I'm a behavioral financial advisor. And what
Ah,
that means is really getting into some of the behaviors and the
part of it.
mindsets around money, and what
Yes,
drives people in that instance, where they have these what I call money scripts running in the background that is really influencing your financial decisions for the long term. So we have to kind of get to the root of what's going on,
yes.
reviewing the money story, and then how to rewrite it in order to move yourself forward financially.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So when I called you about the Claiming Your Why and Soul Purpose Summit, why did you say yes? Why do you think it's a good place for you to be?
Exactly. Besides us having this relationship for the last 10 years and was trying to get together to do something, is that, once you called me on the phone, or, you went to my, DM, is that, everything that you have done and put together, I just knew I had to be a part of it. So when you had reached out, I said, definitely, I have to be a part of this. Not only, our relationship and what I know you have to offer, but the title alone, claiming
Yes.
your why and your soul purpose, that has always been my guiding force, is really having people find their purpose in life.
Mhm,
I found mine. I found my mission. I found my ministry, which happens to be helping people financially
mhm.
with that. So if anybody can get to this conference and really find out what their purpose is and what their why, you don't have to really work a day in your life if you found out what that is. So
Isn't that
people
the
need to
truth?
really get to the root of what their purpose is and what their life purpose is, because we've been put on this earth for that divine purpose. It's just really, how do you peel the layers, like you said, and find what that is. And I believe this conference will be able to really get people thinking about what that purpose may be for them.
Exactly. Guys, go ahead. You can write if you have questions for Pam. Go ahead and write it in the comments there. So what that because a lot of times what people are saying, I don't make enough to invest. I can barely make ends meet.
Yes.
I'm going to be very vulnerable. No. I am telling you, I rarely, because I'm a work in progress too, when it comes to my finance. So you know I'm going to have to call you after the conference. I had no idea the impact of a small amount until some guy sent me a link for a thing called Acorn. Acorn investment.
Exactly.
And I thought he was kind of scam. I said, I don't hear anything about that. Then I think you probably know her, Odessa Hopkins. I don't know if you know Odessa.
Yeah, Adasa sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah, she used to be up there in DC and she moved down to Florida.
Yep.
So I got excited about the link when I found out it was legit. And I was sending it to some people I know. And Odessa said, you are late, honey. I've been doing it for 10 years. And I said, what a shame that people have information like that and they don't share it.
Exactly. And to the point that you were mentioning, is a lot of times people think in order to have a financial advisor or financial planner, that you have to have a lot of money. And it's just the opposite. Anybody who needs to make a financial decision really needs to have somebody, a go-to person that they can ask before you make these money mistakes. That's what happens, is that you don't have enough resources or you don't have the knowledge and you're afraid to ask anybody, or you're getting the advice from
wrong people.
Generic advice from either online or your friends or somebody who may not be well versed in finances, and then you make a huge mistake. So I try to really make financial planning, to bring it to the masses, but make it affordable.
Yes.
So I have a variety of what I call subscription-based models, where it just takes a little bit of resources in order to get access to advice on an ongoing basis. So it's a variety of different ways that you can engage the services of a financial advisor and really be able to be taken care of efficiently. But back to what you were talking about with Acorn, like you said, it says it's rounding up basically your purchases, and then they're taking that and they're investing it into a small account where you're able to start, maybe either stock investing or mutual fund investing. But, that's just simple, so you went to the store, you pay $4.50. They take the 50 cents, they round it up, they stick it into an account for you. They wait till it accumulates a little bit, but then you're on your way to early investing. And that's something that you can do right away. You don't have to have a whole lot of resources in order to start.
And when I'm even losing out on my run now because my bank no longer works with them. So I have been losing, but I was smart enough to start a weekly amount, which was not much. And the other day I look, I said, oh my Lord, where all this money came from? Because it's accumulated. And I said, what if I had started this X amount of years? I would have been sitting at a better place. But I'm excited about you being at the conference and we're having this conversation because especially you mentioning that you have a small way where people can enter. It is never too late. Never too late. We can start. So what would you like to tell the people that can stir them to come out on the 10th and the 11th of September?
Uh-huh.
And will they get to have conversation with you when you are there?
Definitely. Like I said, I'm really going to be, pouring into people on how to really effectively deal with your money mindset. That's number one, is that we got to get to the root problem on what may be keeping you financially stuck. So we talk a lot about, I'll be talking about, money stories and your money scripts. And then, of course, from there, how do you become financially unstuck? And then how do you build a solid financial foundation from there? So, if you want the roadmap to really how to effectively take control of your finances so you can change your life, that's, in itself a reason. And in addition to all of the other speakers that are going to be
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And of course, run by yours truly, which is, Dr. Daphne.
Thank you. Over the years, Pam, what are some things that you have experienced in your career that sets men apart from women
men, men apart from women in my
when
career.
it comes to their finances?
Oh, you mean as a client or just as an advisor?
As
Which way?
both. They,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think with anything, men tend to want or think they know a lot more than they do. So taking the recommendations sometimes is a little bit of a challenge with men. And then from a woman's standpoint, to that extent, is that it takes a little bit longer. It's a trust factor. Of course, you have to build trust
mm-hmm,
in your
mm-hmm,
advisor and know what they're doing. But after you break through that, most of my clients are really good friends. We hang out together, we go to wine events. I've been to
you.
retirement parties. I've been through a lot of different things. But it's that, and with Dr. Daphne, as women, if we find a good thing, we're telling people.
And
So a lot of
guess
a
what?
lot of my clients come from referral because my
Mhm,
clients are such good champions. They
mhm.
talk about me all the time on social media, out in the public with their friends, with their colleagues. So we refer a lot. So that's kind of the differences as well. But in terms of taking the advice, sometimes the men can be a little bit challenging when it comes to taking advice.
I did Mary Kay Cosmetics years ago,
Hmm.
and those words were some of Mary Kay's words. She said, "If you want your news to go around, tell a woman."
Yes.
She says, "What you do, you go to a store and you see a 20% coupon, and the sales give you one. What you do, you ask her, do you have another one because you want to take it for your girlfriend?" And
Uh-huh.
that's what we do,
Hmm.
you know. And I tell people, when you work with me, everything is confidential. And even if you refer somebody to me, they will never know what you and I are working on or talk about. But you are right. When
Hmm.
we find something good, we want to tell somebody else about it.
Correct.
Now, the clients you work with, Miss Ramona, do you have a question? Jot it in the chat, honey. And I see somebody else up there. If you do not give StreamYard the okay, your name will not show up in the comments. What was my question? I just missed my thought. What did I just ask you?
We were talking about telling everybody about a good thing. That's where we left off.
Oh my heaven. And I look and saw her and I asked for the question. I can't believe. Normally I don't miss my train of thought. But anyway, it's gonna come back to me.
I'm sure it'll definitely come around.
So I was saying that if you find something and you think it's good, you need to tell somebody else about it.
Hmm.
However, now I grew up in Jamaica, and
Hmm.
one of the things, there was no bank account or anything. But
Yeah.
I lost my mother early at age 13, right?
Hmm.
But one thing, my father was a farmer,
Hmm.
and mama would go to the market to sell the produce, right?
Yes.
And some would go in the money would go in the apron pocket, but there was a little something going in here.
Yes.
And God, what Mama used to say, that's the rainy day stock.
That's
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 the
your
rainy day
that's your
snack.
rainy day. That's your mad money. That's your, what some people call it, your bra money, but it's
Yeah.
there just in case you peel off a little for yourself. So yes, every
Oh my
woman should have,
heavens.
like, some mad money, something on the side to take care of themselves, that may or may not know, that their husband may or not know, but at least you have something
You have
on the
something to
side.
stick away.
Exactly.
I know what I was gonna ask you.
Hmm.
I was gonna ask you to the people that you serve,
Hmm.
are they only locally or wherever people are,
Hmm.
you can service them? Do you offer virtual services and that kind of thing?
Yeah, now, especially since the pandemic, people have been finding me all over the place. So I am licensed in certain states, a majority of them.
Hmm.
So wherever people are, just depends on where they are. I can get licensed in any state, but that, so I'm not just local. So
Good.
I have, basically coast to coast type, right? I'm
Wonderful.
here, but I have clients in a variety of different states as well. So
Wonderful.
yep, and I think, like I said, the pandemic has really opened it up a lot more, as
Isn't
well.
that, Pam? It
Hmm.
just allows so many of us to pivot and
Hmm.
to really expand our horizon.
Exactly.
Do
Yep.
you teach other financial advisors? Do you have like an online school or something that you teach others?
Hmm. I do not currently have an online school, but I do a lot of mentoring of female advisors, because having
Mhm.
more of us in the industry
Yes.
definitely helps. So right now I have probably about 3 or 4 different mentees that
Mhm.
I am really helping grow their practices, so they're able to
Beautiful.
provide really good advice and services to their clients as well.
Beautiful. Well, we are 27 minutes in.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you want to tell the listeners that we have not yet talked about? You have the microphone, my sister.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think if we can stress anything, it's really get to the event. It's 2 wonderful days of great speakers. You'll learn a lot. My segment is just a tip of the iceberg in terms of figuring out what your money is, how to control it better in order to change your life. But, I think if we can stress anything, is really have people to come either
Yes.
virtually or in person, to really take in a lot of these great speakers and get some really good information so they can claim their why and their sole purpose. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, because even those people who will be attending virtual, you will have opportunity to network too with the speakers during the event, so you won't be left out. You'll be able to get your question answered and plan and investing in yourself.
Hmm.
Start. Where are we now? We are July.
Hmm.
Start putting a little something down so that when you have the conversation with Pam, you have a little something stick away that you can say, all right, what are the programs you have? And let me see where I can start. Because we need to do better for ourselves, myself included. I am not excluding myself out of this, because the reason this year, last year we had 21 speakers,
Hmm.
but this year the universe had me hand select the speakers differently. Last year, Pam,
Hmm.
I interviewed all 21 speakers. The universe said to me, this year, people need to speak their
Hmm.
story and to get the attendees to connect with them, because that is going to be much better. And I am so glad that we have it, because every last one of us women need to get our money in order. Every
Mhm.
last one of us. So we look forward to seeing you guys coming out. And
Mhm.
you have the last 1 minute, my sister.
1 minute, wrapping it up in 1 minute. But thank you very, very much for having me, Dr. Daphne, Dynamic Daphne, Coach Daphne, whichever one you're going with this
Whichever
evening,
one.
for all of them. Really thank you for the opportunity for tonight, but also the invitation to share, live, of course, in Atlanta. I know we were going to do some things differently, of course, virtually. But you said, you needed me live. So I'm like, hey, I'm on the plane. I'm
Yes.
there really
Mhm.
to do this because this is truly my passion to be
Yes.
able to
Yes.
help women with
Mhm.
their finances,
Mhm.
get them well, be able to build that solid financial foundation so they can change their life because it
Yeah.
really starts about what their goals, their values, and then what their dreams are. And it's sometimes it has a price tag, and we need to
Exactly.
figure out how to work financially with that in order to move you forward to get you to your dreams.
And you know what? I said you having the last word, but you know what the Spirit just said to me?
Hmm.
This is her first year at the summit, but she is going to need to be the speaker on finances for the summit. So I'm just delivering what the Spirit says. So
Yes.
I am obedient. I am obedient. So thank you, my sister. I
Thank you
can't
very
wait to
much.
see you. And we're going to rock and roll.
We are. I'm
All
looking
right.
forward to it.
Yes. Love you, my
All
sister.
right. Love
All
you
right.
too. All
Love you.
right. Good night.
Good night.